The mining vessel Hyperion drifted silently through the asteroid belt of the Proxima Centauri system, its massive collection arrays sifting through the ancient rocks for rare Earth elements. Captain Maya Patel stood at the bridge's main viewport, watching the automated drones weave between the asteroids with practiced precision. After 3 years of successful operations in humanity's first extrasolar mining outpost, the routine had become almost meditative. "Captain, we're picking up unusual readings from Sector 7, announced Lieutenant David Chen, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "The signature doesn't match any known mineral compositions in our database." Maya leaned over his station, her dark eyes narrowing at the data stream. "Redirect drone cluster 3 for a closer look. Could be another platinum-rich deposit." But as the drones approached the target asteroid, it became clear this was something entirely different. Buried within the rock was a perfectly geometric structure, its surface covered in intricate patterns that pulsed with a faint blue light. The object was clearly artificial and definitely not of human origin. "Full stop on all mining operations," Maya ordered, her heart racing despite years of command experience. "Get me a direct quantum link to Earth Command." This is exactly what the first contact protocols were designed for. Before the communication officer could establish the link, the ship's sensors erupted with warnings. Massive energy signatures were appearing throughout the system, far too close for comfort. Space itself seemed to ripple as dozens of vessels emerged from what appeared to be artificial wormholes. Their design was organic yet geometric, with flowing lines that somehow managed to look both beautiful and threatening. "Multiple vessels detected," Chen shouted. "Energy readings are off the charts. Nothing in our database comes close to these power levels." The Hyperion's communication system crackled to life with a message that made Maya's blood run cold. The voice spoke in perfect English, but with an artificial quality that suggested advanced translation technology. "Human vessel, you have accessed restricted archaeological data belonging to the Nexus Collective. Your species' unauthorized expansion ends here. Prepare for immediate neutralization." Maya's military training, hidden beneath years of civilian mining operations, kicked in instantly. "All hands to battle stations. This isn't just a mining vessel anymore." The crew stared at her in confusion until she entered a complex command sequence into her console. Hidden panels throughout the bridge slid away, revealing military-grade workstations. The Hyperion's supposedly civilian sensor array reconfigured itself into an advanced combat system. Earth Command anticipated first contact might not go peacefully, Maya explained as she activated systems that had laid dormant for years. "Every major human outpost has hidden defensive capabilities. We're not just miners. We're the first line of defense." The alien vessels opened fire, expecting an easy kill. Instead, their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against shields that shouldn't have existed on a mining vessel. The Hyperion's hull plating shifted, revealing weapon ports that unleashed a barrage of quantum-tipped missiles. "Launch emergency buoy," Maya ordered as the ship engaged in evasive maneuvers that no mining vessel should have been capable of. "Earth needs to know we've made contact, and that the Nexus Collective has chosen war over diplomacy." As the buoy accelerated away through a precisely calculated quantum corridor, Maya watched the alien ships regroup for another attack. They had clearly been surprised by the Hyperion's capabilities, but their superior numbers would tell eventually. "All hands, prepare for emergency quantum jump," she announced. "We've got what we came for. Proof that humanity isn't alone in the universe, and confirmation that we were right to prepare for the worst." The Hyperion's quantum drive spooled up, its hidden military-grade components allowing for jumps that would have seemed impossible on a civilian vessel. As they prepared to escape, Maya couldn't help but smile grimly at the irony. The Nexus Collective had expected to find helpless prey, but they'd just started a war with a humanity that had spent decades preparing for this exact scenario. "Jump in 3, 2, 1. The Hyperion vanished in a flash of quantum energy, leaving behind a very confused alien fleet and a message buoy racing toward Earth with news that would change human history forever. The first strike had been made, but humanity had been ready. Now it was time to show the galaxy that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating human ingenuity was a dangerous mistake. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known as the Sentinel Complex, Admiral James Harrison stood before a wall of holographic displays showing the Hyperion's combat telemetry. The mining vessel's successful escape from the Nexus Collective had confirmed decades of paranoid preparation hadn't been in vain. The Hyperion's performance exceeded expectations. Dr. Elena Santos, Project Sentinel's chief engineer, reported as she manipulated the holographic data. Our masking technologies fooled their initial scans completely. They had no idea they were engaging a military-grade vessel until it was too late. The Admiral nodded, his weathered face illuminated by the shifting displays. And the artifact they discovered. The quantum scans from the Hyperion's drones are fascinating, Elena replied, bringing up a detailed rendering of the alien structure. It's some kind of quantum communications node, ancient but still partially functional. The Nexus Collective's response suggests they've been monitoring these artifacts, probably using them to track developing civilizations. Warning lights suddenly flashed across the command center. A junior officer called out, multiple quantum ruptures detected at the edge of the solar system. The collective is here. James touched a control panel, and the facility's ceiling transformed into a vast stellar display. Dozens of Nexus vessels were emerging from quantum space, their organic geometric forms casting strange shadows against the stars. But unlike at Proxima Centauri, they weren't facing an unprepared mining outpost. Initiate Project Sentinel, the Admiral commanded. Authorization code, Prometheus Rising. Throughout the solar system, humanity's carefully maintained facade began to fall away. The massive orbital platforms around Earth, long claimed to be weather and communication stations, revealed their true nature as defense platforms bristling with quantum weaponry. Mars' supposedly civilian research bases transformed into military strongholds, their underground hangars launching squadrons of advanced fighters. Signal from the Lunar Command, an officer announced. The Artemis fleet is ready for deployment. On the dark side of the moon, hidden shipyards that had operated in absolute secrecy for 20 years began launching humanity's real warships. Unlike the converted civilian vessels like the Hyperion, these were purpose-built warships incorporating everything humanity had learned about advanced technology, both through our own research and careful study of recovered alien artifacts. The collective thinks they're dealing with a primitive species that got lucky with a few defended mining ships, James said, watching the Artemis fleet move into position. Time to show them how wrong they are. Dr. Santos, initiate the quantum mesh network. Elena's fingers flew across her console, activating humanity's most closely guarded technological achievement. Quantum communication nodes hidden throughout the solar system powered up, creating an invisible web of instantaneous information sharing. Every human ship and defense platform would be able to coordinate with zero lag, operating as a single unified force. Admiral, she said, looking up from her station, I should be on the flagship. The quantum mesh network may need adjustments during combat. James shook his head. You're too valuable to risk, Elena. The collective doesn't just want to stop our expansion. The data from the Hyperion confirms they want our complete elimination. If anything happens to the fleet, someone needs to survive who understands our most advanced tech. A message flashed across the main display. The Nexus fleet had detected Earth's defensive preparations and was rapidly adjusting their formation. Their initial arrogance was giving way to confusion as they realized their intelligence on humanity's capabilities had been completely wrong. All ships, battle formations, James ordered, his voice carrying to every human vessel in the system. Humanity has spent generations preparing for this moment. We've hidden our true strength, letting potential enemies underestimate us. That ends today. The Artemis fleet moved with precision that belied its size, quantum drives humming as ships took up their assigned positions. Each vessel was a masterpiece of human engineering, incorporating both reversed engineered alien technology and unique human innovations. Their hulls were covered in adaptive metamaterials that could reconfigure in response to enemy weapons, while their quantum cores provided power levels that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. "The collective is broadcasting a message," an officer announced. "Put it through," James ordered. The artificial voice was the same one that had threatened a Hyperion. "Humans, your deception has been noted. This changes nothing. Your species will be contained." James allowed himself a grim smile. "Response on all frequencies. You haven't seen anything yet." The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with energy as the two fleets engaged. The Nexus Collective's massive dreadnoughts, each nearly the size of a small moon, moved forward with devastating purpose. Their organic crystalline hulls pulsed with power as they launched their first salvo, expecting to tear through Earth's defenses with overwhelming force. Commander Sarah Chen of the TNS Defiant watched the incoming fire with calculated calm. Quantum mesh network holding steady. All ships. Execute battle plan Omega. The human fleet's response shocked the collective. Instead of attempting to dodge the devastating energy beams, the Artemis fleet's vessels seemed to phase out of reality itself. The alien weapons passed harmlessly through the space where human ships had been, only for those same ships to reappear at point-blank range around the collective's largest vessels. "Quantum displacement successful," Sarah's tactical officer reported. "All ships in attack position. The collective's adaptive shields are still reconfiguring from their attack." "Fire everything," Sarah ordered. The human fleet unleashed its full arsenal. Quantum torpedoes phased through the aliens' outer defenses before rematerializing inside their ships. Gravity lances created localized singularities that tore chunks out of the massive dreadnoughts. Swarms of autonomous fighter drones, piloted by AIs that could react faster than any organic being, targeted vulnerable points with surgical precision. But the collective hadn't become a dominant force in the galaxy by being easily defeated. Their ships began adapting, their crystalline hulls reconfiguring to generate new defensive patterns. Energy beams lashed out from impossible angles as they utilized their own version of spatial manipulation technology. Multiple hits on the Constantine and the Thermopylae, Sarah's second-in-command reported. "Their adaptive armor is holding, but they're pulling back for regeneration." The battle devolved into a deadly dance of adaptation and counter-adaptation. Human ships would find a weakness in the collective's defenses, only for those defenses to shift and strengthen. The collective would develop a counter to human tactics, only for the quantum mesh network to analyze the data and devise new strategies faster than any individual commander could. "Commander," her science officer called out, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the largest collective vessel. They're charging something big." Sarah's eyes narrowed as she studied the data. "All ships, defensive formation Delta. They're about to." The alien flagship unleashed a wave of quantum disruption energy, unlike anything humanity had encountered before. It swept through space like a tsunami, threatening to disable the quantum technology that gave human ships their edge. But humanity had one more surprise prepared. "Execute Protocol Zero," Sarah commanded, her voice steady despite the enormous risk. Throughout the human fleet, hidden systems activated. What the collective didn't know was that human quantum technology had been deliberately designed with redundancies and failsafes, anticipating attempts to neutralize it. As the disruption wave hit, human ships appeared to lose power for a crucial moment. The collective pressed their advantage, only to face a devastating counterattack. Human vessels redirected the disruption energy through their backup systems, using the collective's own attack to supercharge their weapons. "Target their flagship," Sarah ordered as her ship systems came back online, stronger than before. "All ships, concentrate fire. Show them why humanity has survived every challenge we've ever faced." The TNS Defiant led the charge, its hull glowing with absorbed energy. Across the battlefield, other human ships followed suit, their weapons powered by the very attack meant to disable them. The collective flagship's defenses, optimized to handle normal combat, proved inadequate against weapons energized by their own disruption wave. Reality itself seemed to bend as the combined firepower of the human fleet struck home. The massive alien vessel's crystalline hull shattered, the fractures spreading like lightning across its surface. Secondary explosions chained through its superstructure as quantum energy released in uncontrolled bursts. Multiple collective vessels entering quantum retreat, the tactical officer reported with barely contained excitement. They're falling back. Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she watched the massive alien ships flee. Send word to Admiral Harrison. Phase 1 of the counterattack is complete. The collective now knows we can't just defend. We can hurt them. As the human fleet regrouped and began repairs, Sarah knew this was only the beginning. The collective would return with new tactics and technologies. But humanity had proved something crucial. We weren't just hiding our strength. We were actively evolving our capabilities even during combat. All ships maintain battle readiness, she ordered. They'll be back, and next time they won't underestimate us. But that's exactly what we're counting on. Jupiter's massive form loomed against the starfield as Dr. Elena Santos made her final adjustments to the quantum mesh network aboard the TN's Prometheus. After the previous battle, she had convinced Admiral Harrison that her expertise would be needed on the front lines. Now, as the largest collective fleet yet assembled approached the solar system, she questioned the wisdom of that decision. Quantum signatures detected, announced Captain Michael Reeves. This is their biggest force so far, over 300 capital ships. Elena's hands moved across her console, analyzing the incoming data. The collective had learned from their previous defeat, modifying their ships with new countermeasures against human quantum technology. But they still didn't understand humanity's greatest strength, our ability to improvise. All ships reporting ready, Michael announced. The Jupiter defense grid is online. For months, automated construction ships had been secretly working in Jupiter's intense radiation belts, building something unprecedented. Thousands of quantum-linked satellites now orbited the gas giant, each one appearing to be nothing more than debris to standard scans. The collective fleet emerged from quantum space in perfect attack formation. Their ships had evolved, sporting new crystalline growths that pulsed with dark energy. Their first attack wasn't with conventional weapons. Instead, they launched a massive quantum scanning wave, determined not to fall for human deception again. They're being thorough this time, Elena noted, running active scans on everything, even the debris fields. She smiled. Exactly as predicted. Admiral Harrison, we're ready. From his command center on Earth, Harrison's voice came through the quantum network. Execute Operation Solar Storm. Elena activated a sequence she had spent months perfecting. The debris field around Jupiter suddenly came alive. Each satellite contained a miniature quantum core that, when activated individually, was too small to detect. But working in concert through the quantum mesh network, they created something revolutionary. Multiple quantum resonance points established, Elena reported. Field integrity at 97% and holding. The collective fleet detected the activation too late. The quantum satellites created a vast web of interconnected fields, using Jupiter's own magnetic field as an amplifier. Space itself began to distort around the alien vessels. They're trying to retreat, Michael reported. Quantum drives spinning up. Not this time, Elena said quietly. The quantum web wasn't just a weapon. It was a trap. When the collective ships attempted to jump away, they found their quantum drives interfering with each other, creating a cascade of spatial distortions. The human fleet emerged from hiding behind Jupiter's moons, but this time they weren't alone. From the gas giant's turbulent atmosphere rose massive constructs that defied conventional physics. Project Leviathan, the ultimate fusion of human ingenuity and quantum engineering. Leviathan units operational, Elena announced with pride. Quantum containment field stable. The constructs were semi-organic quantum computers housed in bodies built to withstand Jupiter's crushing pressures. They moved with impossible grace for their size, each one a match for multiple collective capital ships. More importantly, they could do something the aliens thought impossible. They could predict and counter quantum manipulations in real time. The battle that followed would be studied for generations. The collective fleet found itself caught between the quantum web, the human fleet, and the Leviathan units. Their attempts to use quantum weapons were countered before they could fully form. Their defensive formations were disrupted by localized space-time distortions. "Their flagship is changing," Michael reported suddenly. "Energy readings are off the charts." Elena watched in fascination as the collective vessel began to transform. Its crystalline structure expanded, creating what appeared to be a massive quantum cannon. The aliens were attempting to repeat their previous tactic of quantum disruption, but on a scale that could affect the entire Jupiter system. "They still don't understand," Elena said, making rapid adjustments to the quantum mesh network. "Prometheus actual to all Leviathan units. Execute Protocol Omega." As the collective flagship unleashed its superweapon, the Leviathan units moved into formation. Instead of trying to block or absorb the quantum disruption wave, they created a resonance pattern that matched its frequency perfectly. The wave didn't dissipate. It was redirected, focused, and sent back along the quantum web to its source. The collective flagship's own weapon proved to be its undoing. The redirected energy caused a cascade failure in its quantum systems. The massive ship began to break apart, its crystalline structure shattering as its own power turned against it. "Multiple collective ships losing containment," Michael reported, his voice tense with excitement. "Their entire command and control structure is collapsing." Elena watched as the alien fleet fell into disarray. Without their flagship's coordination, their rigid battle doctrine fell apart. Some ships attempted to retreat, only to be caught in the quantum web. Others fought on but were quickly overwhelmed by the coordinated efforts of human ships and Leviathan units. "Send word to Earth," Elena said, allowing herself to finally relax slightly. "Jupiter is secured. The collective's main fleet is broken." As she watched the remnants of the once mighty alien armada being systematically disabled or destroyed, Elena reflected on the true nature of humanity's advantage. The collective had superior technology and numbers, but they lacked humanity's creativity, our ability to take risks and improvise. They had expected to face a primitive species barely capable of interstellar travel. Instead, they had found an adversary who had turned their own quantum mastery against them. The battle for Jupiter would mark the turning point in the war, but Elena knew it was more than that. It was proof that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't our technology or our preparations. It was our inexhaustible capacity for innovation. On the observation deck of the TNS Prometheus, Captain Maya Patel stood beside Admiral Harrison, watching as the last Nexus collective delegation arrived for the peace negotiations. The massive crystalline ship, once a symbol of overwhelming alien superiority, now moved cautiously through a corridor of human vessels near Saturn's rings. "Hard to believe it's been only 6 months since the Jupiter battle," Maya said, her mining vessel captain's facade long since discarded. "The Hyperion feels like a lifetime ago." James nodded, his weathered face reflecting the light of distant stars. "The collective never recovered from losing their main fleet, but it's what we discovered in their databases that really ended the war." The intelligence gleaned from captured collective ships had revealed a stunning truth. Humanity wasn't the first species they had attempted to contain. Dozens of emerging civilizations had been suppressed or destroyed over millennia, their potential snuffed out by the collective's doctrine of absolute control over quantum technology. "Ambassador Chen is ready to begin," Dr. Elena Santos announced as she entered the observation deck. The former Project Sentinel engineer had become humanity's leading expert on collective technology. "The quantum translation matrices are calibrated. We'll understand each other perfectly." The negotiation chamber aboard the Prometheus represented a new approach to interstellar diplomacy. Instead of the sterile, intimidating environments the collective preferred, humans had created a space that showcased Earth's natural beauty. Holographic displays showed peaceful scenes from Earth, oceans, forests, and cities where humans and advanced technology coexisted harmoniously. The collective representatives entered, tall, crystalline beings that seemed to shift between solid and energy states. Their own world, they had revealed, had been artificially transformed into a perfect crystalline sphere eons ago. They had forgotten the value of adaptation, of natural evolution. "Welcome to human space," Admiral Harrison began. "We're here to discuss not just peace between our peoples, but a new future for the galaxy." The lead collective representative pulsed with patterns of light that the quantum translators converted to speech. "Our assessment of your species was fundamentally flawed. We believed control of quantum technology marked the pinnacle of civilization. You have demonstrated alternatives." Maya couldn't help but smile at the understatement. Humanity hadn't just defeated the collective. We had shown them an entirely new way of existing. Our quantum technology worked with natural laws rather than trying to dominate them. Our ships adapted and evolved instead of pursuing rigid perfection. We've received communications from 17 species, the collective previously suppressed, Elena added. They're eager to emerge from hiding, to join a new galactic community based on cooperation rather than control. The negotiations proceeded through Earth days and nights. The resulting agreement would transform known space. The collective would abandon its policy of suppression, instead joining a new alliance where each species could develop along its own path. Human quantum technology would be shared, but with an emphasis on innovation and adaptation rather than standardization. "There's something you should understand about humanity," Maya said during a crucial moment in the talks. "The reason we hid our true capabilities wasn't fear or deception for its own sake. We wanted to be sure that when we finally revealed ourselves to the galaxy, we could do so from a position of wisdom rather than just strength." The collective representatives showed signs of what their translators interpreted as profound confusion. "Your species had the power to destroy us utterly after Jupiter. The Leviathan weapons alone could have laid waste to our worlds. Why seek peace?" Admiral Harrison's response captured the essence of humanity's victory. Because true power isn't about destruction. It's about having the strength to offer peace even when war is easier. That's what makes humanity different. We prepare for the worst while always working toward the best possible outcome. 1 month later, Maya stood on a real beach on Earth, watching the sunset with Elena and James. Above them, visible even in daylight, a new construction project was underway. The first of many quantum gateways that would link Earth not just to human colonies, but to all the species emerging from collective suppression. "The hard part's still ahead," Elena mused, watching distant construction ships move through the sky. "Helping all these species catch up on centuries of lost development, making sure nobody else tries to fill the power vacuum the collective left behind." "That's why we won't be doing it alone," Maya replied. "Every species brings something unique to the table. The collective's mistake was seeing diversity as a threat rather than a strength." James nodded toward the horizon, where another sunset was beginning. "We spent generations preparing for war because we had to. Now we get to spend generations building something better. That's humanity's real victory, not just surviving, but creating a future where survival doesn't mean endless conflict." Above them, the quantum gateway took shape, its elegant design incorporating both human innovation and collective precision. It was a symbol of what could be achieved when advancement served life rather than dominated it. Humanity had won its place among the stars not through conquest, but by demonstrating a better way forward. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what humanity had been working toward all along.